Welcome back to the Power of Use Summit. I am your host, Phyllis King, and today I am very pleased to be speaking with Dr. Shai Tubali, who is a cognitive enhancement expert. He has been an avid researcher of consciousness, and he began as early as 12 years old when he wrote his first book. He blends academic philosophy and mysticism to explore the transformative power of expanded consciousness. He has a doctorate in the philosophy of religion. He's also a research fellow at the Arts and Humanities Research Institute. His academic works include the publication of the transformative philosophical dialogue. He's also an expert in meditation, among many other things. Originally from Israel by way of Berlin, and now he resides in Portugal. Shai, thank you so much for being here today.
It's a great joy being with you here today.
I was really taken by the fact that you started so young. You're a writer, you're a consummate writer. You've been writing since you were 12. You said you started writing about the meaning of life at 12.
Exactly.
How? Were your parents spiritually oriented? Did they cultivate that in you? How did you write about the meaning of life at 12?
Well, I think with all the mysterious, in the case of all these, the mysterious things in life, this is really unexplainable, because it is something that you're driven to do without understanding why, and not even what you are actually doing. I think you can sympathize with this feeling, with this experience. So when I was about between 10 to 12, I found myself sitting in my room and writing poems and essays about the meaning of life. I had no clue what I was writing about. I certainly didn't have the psychological maturity to grasp the meaning of life, or to grasp the text that I was crafting. And still there was some innate power guiding me, or I would call it, where, because I come from the world of academic philosophy, Plato talked a lot about soul remembrance, that things that concern the soul are always things that you are being reminded of, rather than acquiring knowledge about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about remembrance. You simply are reminded of things that you already know. And this, I think, this calling, this drive to follow what I already knew, was the guiding force of my youth.
So you want to incorporate psychological, spiritual, you have ancient wisdom, philosophy, science. You like to put it all together. Why is that, and what's the benefit of that? And is that even possible?
Well, first of all, this is a profound question, because it concerns my life work. You see, from the very beginning, when I was 23, there was a certain initial spiritual awakening that has become the ceaseless inspiration in my life, and soon after this initial awakening, I told a friend who later became a student, that for me, spiritual enlightenment is everything all at once. And I didn't really understand what I was saying, but there was a sense that all dimensions, so all the different facets of reality, the essential truths are like facets of one diamond. So if you look at the diamond from this particular facet, you will follow it all the way, you will reach absolute reality, absolute truth. And if you choose that other facet, you will discover absolute reality, but these are different dimensions. Mm-hmm. So for me, because of this innate passion or vision, I have found myself constantly spreading in every direction in this lifetime. I call it living several lifetimes in one lifetime. You see, because there is a sense of constant expansion, and the wish to enlighten, to illuminate all imaginable dimensions of human existence. Because I believe that there is a certain trapped or concealed light in every human dimension, whether it is the lowest or the highest. So it's this passion to extricate this divine essence and to reveal it and to realize it.
Incredible. I love that explanation. And you've talked about this a lot in your books and your courses, and you've done your best to help us understand that for ourselves. I probably should have asked this question first, but I want to ask it anyhow. So you said your life, you're here not for yourself. I heard this in one of your videos, that in this life, you're not here for yourself. I mean, you're making the most of your life by any measure, but who are you here for, if not yourself? What does that mean?
Well, that's a powerful point that you're making. Yes, well, I think that what took place at the age of 23 was the dissolution of my own autobiography, my own story, my story as a personal self. This was the experience that the I, the self, the personal self, has been simply discontinued ever since, and therefore there is no personal benefit in this lifetime. You see that this I think has a lot to do with my understanding of Buddhist teachings and Hindu teachings about the illusion of the personal self, and the fact that the whole idea that we harbor, that we are becoming more and more. We are in some sort of continuous becoming more and more of ourselves. This is a complete illusion. There is no becoming. It's an image that we hold in our mind. So this image shattered at the age of 23. I couldn't ever since I have been completely unable to imagine myself in a state of becoming as a part of time, as a part of space.
Interesting.
You see?
Fascinating.
So then why would I be here? There is no reason to be in form, because usually we take form, so the Buddha says, we usually take form because we have a certain grasping, a certain clinging to experiences, and to the possibility of becoming something and achieving something. You see?
Yes.
So then now for me this form is empty of this fundamental desire, and this makes me available. So when you're available, for me this is the beginning of life, not the end of life. This is the beginning of life, because you are now starting to discover life without the obscuration of the personal self, and only then does life reveal itself.
I'm curious, did something precipitate this awakening, I'll call it, at 23? Was there a trauma? Was there an event? Or what happened? Is there something notable that happened at 23 that made that event, inspired that event, or it just happened?
Well, if you'd like to speak of trauma, then you can speak of positive trauma. This is how I like to refer to profound positive experiences that leave certain imprints in our body and mind and our heart. So when I was 21, I began to seek spiritually, and I came across the world of transcendental meditation, along with the teachings of Osho and the books of Jiddu Krishnamurti and so on and so on. But when I came to the course of transcendental meditation, the course was very basic and very approachable. But then the teacher, all of a sudden, he mentioned really abruptly that if you follow this all the way, you achieve oneness with the universe. Now these words, they were like a cosmic bell ringing and reverberating throughout the entire universe for me. At that moment, I stopped him and I asked him, wait, could you please repeat? What do you mean by becoming one with the universe? And then he explained a little, but that was a reminder. And I knew that whether that I had to realize this for myself, and this was a question of life and death for me.
Amazing.
And from that moment onwards, I simply didn't care about anything else. So I followed this so passionately and so totally that after 2 years, I was finally fortunate to receive this vision.
Interesting. So I'm going to just move around a little bit here. I have questions as well, but so you've lived this spiritual path. You're a teacher, a philosopher, an academic, a scientist, apparently. You're kind of you've embraced all dimensions that a human being can embrace that we're aware of. So have you had partnership? Do you have a family of your own, or do you just belong to people in general?
Yes, that's an important point. Well, when I was 26, or even a little before that, I had this urge to become, let's call it in simple words, to engage in human affairs and to challenge myself by being a part of the human family and by creating a family myself. So then I married and also gave birth to a child who is now 19 years old, a girl, a wonderful girl. But at a certain point, my vocation or my feeling, the drive to be, as you put it, my drive to belong to everyone, overcame these primordial urges. So at this point, I live as a celibate, and I live alone, and that is a pure joy and bliss. And beautifully, I am my ex-wife. She is my best friend to this day, and she's also a student and a collaborator. So we have the most beautiful relationship I could ever imagine. That's a real blessing.
Amazing. It's just incredible. And I really always so enjoy hearing people's story and some part of their evolution, because I think as readers or viewers, we're going to relate to it in some way, and it's going to touch some part of us and help us find our own way, which is what you're doing through all of your work. You're helping us find our own way in various areas. Incredible.
So this is how I would approach it initially.
Well, clearly you have expanded yourself enormously beyond the typical person, because I think most people would feel they're giving something up, that they have to suffer a loss to achieve these ends? Is it a loss, or is it really just expanding? How do we make sense of that? Or is everyone on that path? Or multiple questions. It's so my bigger question, it's not a loss, but I think many of
Yes.
us would think, oh, if I want to be more spiritual, I have to give up. Is it a giving up, or is it a changing of perspective about it?
This is a perceptive point. Yes, this is the thing. You see, because sometimes we think about deep spirituality, not the self-improvement spirituality, but the mystical way of life as some form of renunciation in terms of giving up on certain things, certain attachments, but this is not replaced with anything that is better. This means that we're just jettisoning or discarding these elements, but we're not given anything instead. Now, the thing is that true renunciation is that you're always given something that is better. You see? So yes, you are renouncing something, but not because you are letting go of one thing, but because you prefer something that is higher, something that is more tremendous, something that is more authentic. So this is why I usually recommend that people should not renounce in a certain as a form of ideal, spiritual ideal. I shouldn't engage in sexuality, for instance, because sexuality is low. So sexuality is not spiritual enough, is not pure enough. No, if you just deal or focus on increasing your spiritual awareness, your meditative capacity, spend more time with spiritual masters and so on, and at a certain point you will realize that you have renounced without attempting to do so. You see, this is natural, spontaneous renunciation. I have never chosen to be a celibate. I've never thought, oh, now I want to be a monk because now I will become admirable, I will become a saint. At a certain point, I simply looked at sexuality and I realized that that my body didn't want it anymore. Now, why didn't it want it? Because it was suffused with bliss. It was steeped in such immense bliss and such satisfaction that it had no need for physical touch. You see,
Incredible.
And that's it.
Wow, amazing. Does anyone ever get to work with you one-on-one or live in groups? Does that happen ever? Or do you speak in public, or is that not your goal? Or you probably don't have a goal, I'm assuming. You're just expanding into yourself, whatever that means on any given day.
That is correct. Yes. Yes. With 10 books in mind. Yes. Sometimes I need to relax myself because I do need to respect the body's limitations and the brain's capacity. I do teach publicly. I teach continuously. I speak to groups. I don't work one-on-one because that is just too much. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for it. But I did make a certain significant step lately, and this was creating a certain practice in community. It is completely open to everyone. And this practicing community simply practices the different practices that I've taught and developed throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
So
how does someone get involved in that? How does someone become part of that?
Well, if they register to the newsletter,
Oh, okay.
That is available on the website. Then they can simply be notified about this community. This is, of course, an online community. It is not some kind of a closed group.
No, of course.
So you just click the button every evening, and you practice a certain form of meditation, whether it is therapeutic, meditative practice, or Buddhist practices that I've adjusted, and so on and so on.
Well, and of course you have your YouTube channel in addition to this. So, and all these links will be provided on my YouTube channel. I mean, there is so much. It's very joyful to be with you. I feel very uplifted, and like I received a big gift today, being able to hang out with you, which is really wonderful. There's just so much to talk about. There's no way we can cover it in the time we have, but I really highly encourage everyone to go to the website and partake your information. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You have some answers that I think are useful to all of us. So I'm really grateful for this time with you. I guess in any moments that before we end our time together, is there something you'd like to share with listeners and viewers that we haven't touched on? Just something that's occurring to you, you might want to say to them to finish our conversation?
Well, just a message of encouragement. I would like to say that sometimes we are thrilled about visiting different countries, different exotic places, and we think that life, the external life, the life of objects, is a fascinating place to be, and we are right. This is a correct intuition. But then we do need to also understand that the inner universe is just as wide and in fact infinite, and there are so many inner doors that we can open. So I'd encourage everyone to simply begin this journey into oneself, and in whatever way, whatever form. Our therapy, our work on the unconscious, for instance, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the far edge of our what we can call the unconscious. Mm-hmm. The unconscious is the almost unlimited scope of our true consciousness. Who we are, and our inner wisdom. So even if you begin your journey into yourself, you will discover that there is no end to this journey. You can travel and travel and never find the edge. You are infinite.
I love that description. Well, Shai, it has just been my honor and pleasure to be with you today. I could spend hours. If I could match your energy for that, for hours, I could spend multiple hours with you, but it's just been a complete joy. But thank you for taking the time to be here today. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. Your questions have been so intriguing.